We have an extra special Arkansas Alive in store for you today. Rose Mims, Executive Director of Arkansas Right to Life, is here and will share with us some important news affecting Arkansas. That's coming up next as Arkansas Alive starts right now. Rose Mims has been a part of Arkansas Alive for a number of years. She's a champion for the unborn in Arkansas, and we're always blessed to have her here. She's going to bring us up to date on some Arkansas Right to Life issues, some powerful things that are going on, so be sure and stay tuned. Rose, it's always good to have you here.
Thank you, Pastor. It's great to be here.
You're still working for the unborn.
I am.
Boy, you're going to have a big crown when you get to heaven. How are you going to wear that crown?
I pray that I will. 25 years this year.
25 years.
Yeah.
Well, you're making progress.
We are. We are winning.
Yes, we're winning, and that's great. Okay, let's start. We're going to talk about legislative updates. We're going to talk about upcoming events. We're going to talk about a movie screening, or actually a movie that's going to be here in Little Rock, tell people how they can see it. And we're going to have a roundup up in Jonesboro, and that ought to really be fun. First of all, legislative updates. Act 577, the Drug-Inducing Abortion Safety Act, passed in 2015, pertains to chemical, medical, medication abortion. What is Act 57?
It's Act 577.
I'm sorry, 577.
Yeah, it was a law passed in 2015, and what it sought to do was not to ban chemical abortions or medication abortions, but to allow those who provide those types of abortions to contract with a physician who could handle any kind of complications that might result from that chemical abortion. I mean, this is a combination of drugs that are taken. The first drug kills the baby. Right. The second drug is administered by the woman herself at her home hours later, days later. And that second drug expels the dead baby. Right. So, we know that there is a failure rate of those types of abortions. There's lots of serious after effects from it that could go wrong. And all we're saying is that let's safeguard the health of the woman who's undergoing that abortion procedure by asking the provider or mandating that the provider contract with the physician who can treat that woman if she has sometimes life-threatening complications. I mean, this type of abortion has killed 22 women in our country since 2000. So we know that things can go wrong. Yeah. And for that one woman that it happens to, a toll-free number that Planned Parenthood gives to the woman who has this type of abortion to call if she's, experiencing complications that she's concerned about, is just not good enough for women in Arkansas.
Now, the Act 577 is a common sense law that seeks to protect the women by requiring abortion providers that perform chemical abortions to contact the physician to treat complications. So it's really a safety measure to save the life of the mother.
Absolutely, because we know that 22 women have died after taking this pill, and it could happen in Arkansas. And we thought it was just a way that we could help women to protect their health. And Planned Parenthood thinks it would put them out of business.
They've challenged this act in court. So where do we stand currently on this challenge?
Well, at this point, it's back in federal court. Okay. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court in April, and that's what caused, a lot of attention, I should say, around the country. Right. Because for 2 weeks, the law was in effect because the Supreme Court, Planned Parenthood had appealed to the Supreme Court to just say the law was unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court refused to hear it. They let a lower court ruling stand, the Eighth Circuit, who had said, that this law can go into effect because the federal court judge had not, her ruling was to Planned Parenthood to demonstrate how this was an undue burden to women, and they did not satisfy the Eighth Circuit. And so it's been a long, drawn-out challenge. It will continue to be that because, you know, the state recently appealed the Eighth Circuit, and the law is in effect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in effect right now.
But it does not stop Planned Parenthood from performing abortions. It just protects the mother.
Yeah. The law itself does not ban chemical abortions.
It just demands that they give an assisting physician the right to counsel and help the mother.
Right. And the problem is, according to Planned Parenthood, is that they cannot find a doctor in Arkansas that will contract with them.
Well, I guess that's both bad news and good news. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
To the 40 Days of Life. This is an upcoming event held every year. Now, this is not necessarily Arkansas Right to Life, but Arkansas Right to Life supports this. And I know members of our church, they've all participated in this. 40 Days of Life. For maybe some new viewers, tell them what 40 Days of Life is about.
Yeah, well, 40 Days for Life is an international event that happens in the spring and in the fall. And people go to the place where abortions happen, and they pray for 40 days.
Yeah.
In Little Rock, they do the campaign from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for 40 days, beginning September 26th. And they ask churches to adopt a day or half a day or a couple of hours, and then people go out there, and that's all they do is pray.
Right.
They are there to pray for the end of abortion.
And this is coming up September 26th through November the 4th.
Right.
Do you have some graphics? Do we have some graphics to put up there? There it is, right there. 40 Days for Life, September 26th through November the 4th. Put that on your calendar. Area 501-650-2933. The website is 40daysforlife.com/Little Rock. The email is 40daysforlife, Little Rock. Let's see, 40 Days for Life, Little Rock. Okay, they split it on my screen. At gmail.com, or go to 40daysforlife.com. In any event, churches, pastors, I've seen couples, husbands and wives. I've seen young people, teenagers, all out there participating in this. This is a good thing. It helps continue to bring awareness to our culture that we're still killing babies, and that we need to pray.
Absolutely. It's a peaceful, way to make your voice heard for the unborn and their mothers and their fathers who come to the abortion clinic.
Yeah.
In a way that they don't have to confront anybody. You know, there are people there to try to talk to the couple that are going in, or the woman, but they don't have to do that. All they do is silently pray and stand as a witness.
That's good to know. So take that into your information and share with people that you might want to take with you or might want to sign up. There's no confrontation. You're just there to pray and intercede for those precious babies and those mothers that are in stress or trauma or ignorant, and to pray to save lives. Okay, here's another event coming up, a movie, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer. Is it called Gosnell?
Yes.
That's the name of it.
Gosnell.
Now, refresh people's memories, because, in the media they have a short memory. Who is this Gosnell, and what's this about?
Well, they may not have heard about it at all, because there was such a media blackout when this trial came to be. It happened in 2013. An abortionist named Kermit Gosnell in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The movie is all about what happens with his clinic getting raided.
Right.
And I won't spoil the trailer that we're going to have here shortly, but the DEA, FBI, they went into that clinic because they had a tip that illegal drugs were being sold out of it. Oh. And that's why they went in there in the first place. They had no idea where they were going. They didn't know it was an abortion clinic. And when they got in there and found what they found, it was, that's when he was arrested. He was killing babies, not in the womb. He was killing them after they were delivered alive by snipping the backs of their necks and severing their spinal cords. He was convicted. He was charged and convicted of killing 3 babies that way. At the same time, he was also convicted of the death of a woman who had gone there for a late-term abortion, and he had people working for him that were untrained, unqualified help, and they were administering drugs, and she actually died from a drug overdose. So he was charged with her murder. So he sits right now in a Philadelphia prison or a Pennsylvania prison charged with these murders. But the movie is about him and what happened inside that clinic and the people he hired and just him as a person.
Why would somebody do that, Rose? Why would he? Was he being paid? Was he making money?
Right. He was an abortionist.
Off the abortions.
He was paid.
But he was delivering these babies and then killing them.
Right.
Okay, but he was still getting paid.
He got paid, yeah, and mostly, he was in a poor section of Philadelphia. His clients were poor women, minority women.
Yeah, and were these abortions being paid for by the state or by the federal government or by the women themselves?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if public funding of abortion even. I suspect it probably does happen in Pennsylvania because a lot of a lot of states do, pay for abortions. But I'm not sure if he was being paid by the state. I do know that the governor of the state of Pennsylvania was Tom Ridge at the time, a Republican, and he turned a blind eye to what was happening at Gosnell's clinic. Planned Parenthood turned a blind eye. Nobody wanted to know what was going on there. They knew what was going on there because Planned Parenthood had been there, but there were no inspections by the state of his clinic. If they had, he would have been shut down.
It just makes you wonder how many of these type operations are still in existence that have never been uncovered.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's watch this movie trailer, this movie screen, and then we'll tell you where you can see the movie itself. Watch this.
All right, listen up. We're looking for anything that looks like drugs or paraphernalia.
Philadelphia Police Department, we have a search warrant. What is that smell?
Man, you gotta see this. Is this normal?
I don't know. I've never been in an abortion clinic before. You are not going to believe what I saw last night.
How many?
So far, we found over 30 of them. Healthy woman goes into a clinic, comes out dead, and there's no police report?
Files have been moved recently.
Look at this.
You'll be the prosecutor who went after reproductive rights, and you'll be a racist to boot.
You've got a lot of folk who'd like to see abortion outlawed. And this is not going to be the case that gives them an excuse.
Prosecution has offered you a plea bargain, Dr. Gosnell.
Then I would have to admit I was guilty. I'm not guilty.
When you get to the courthouse, you are going to be swarmed by reporters.
You ready for this, counselor? Where's everybody?
When was the last time your division inspected Dr. Gosnell's clinic?
We had instructions directly from Governor Ridge's office not to inspect.
Wouldn't testify in that case about anything. You doubt you'll find a doctor who will.
And you look at the facts, you will see what I see. An overly zealous Catholic investigator.
Is that what you want to make this about?
There's nothing that man did that protects women or children, and you don't have to be a pro-life activist to see that.
Kermit Gosnell is perhaps the most prolific serial killer in American history.
You better win.
Ooh, wow. Righteous indignation rises up when you see something like that. My goodness. Has this movie been shown before, or is this new?
No, it's having its national release on October 12th. I've seen it twice. We viewed it at National Right to Life. The producers came to National Right to Life and showed us the film, and and wanting our help once it did release. So we're very happy and pleased to be working with Dave Ellswick on the 101 FM The Answer to bring this film to Little Rock for a screening on September 27th. I believe that's a Thursday. And it's going to be at 7 p.m. at the Riverdale 10 VIP Cinema on Cantrell Road in Little Rock. And I want to just advise your viewers that this is a PG-13 movie. It's not graphic anyway. They're not going to see anything in this movie that is going to be shocking to them, or that would not keep, that they should keep their children away from. It is sensitive matter for sure. We're talking about the killing of babies delivered alive, and not only that, but the souvenirs that this man kept of those babies.
Is that what they dumped out on the table, or they saw?
That was money.
Okay, 30 of them.
Oh, that was on the shelf. The little containers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the information about this movie. Gosnell, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer. The movie screening is Thursday, September 27th. The tickets are $10. The time is 7 p.m. It's at the Riverdale 10 VIP Cinema, Little Rock. And the website, of course, is riverdale10.com. And so if you would like to make a note of that. And I would think, Rose, that it would be appropriate and maybe educational for families to take young daughters and young sons to see what is actually going on. And we need to take advantage of these real-life encounters to teach this next generation that this is going on.
Right. And there's a book that by the same title that Anne McElhenney and her husband wrote, and they were pro-choice. When this story hit, it really interested them, so they started investigating it and wrote the book. Now they're pro-life, and many people that were involved in the investigation, had their, people think they're pro-choice until they're confronted with the reality of legal abortion in our nation. I mean, what they think and what is the truth are two different things.
It's been my experience when they say, especially a politician, when he says, well, I'm pro-life, he's looking for a vote, he's looking for a consensus, he's trying to join the mainstream, doesn't have a clue as to what he's actually saying. Most of the time he is voting and thinking, believing that way because of, want to protect the mother, want to protect anybody from rape or incest and so forth. But pro-life, what they don't realize, pro-abortion, what they don't realize is that they're condemning that unborn baby to death. And when they say they're pro-choice, then they open up Pandora's box for all of these babies to be killed. And how many have we murdered in the womb now? 60 million?
Right. Yeah. 60 million. And Gosnell had killed hundreds of babies that way, which is infanticide actually, because he was delivering them alive. He wasn't bothering to kill them inside the womb. He killed them after they were born.
I wonder if the mothers knew this was going on. Did they know this? Did they know
I think they were drugged up and were not conscious, when they were, and they were wanting a dead baby anyway, right. So I don't know the answer to that question. I haven't read the book. I want to read the book, but we're going to have Anne McElhenney there at the screening.
Oh, great.
So she's going to speak, and she's Irish, and she was at National Right to Life at our convention, so she's the character. But I mean, she went and interviewed Gosnell in the prison.
Now, who is she? She and her husband, are they?
They're the producers.
Movie producers?
Yes, and they also wrote the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And so they just got wind of this story, the news breaking story, and all of the stuff that went along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decided to make a movie about it.
Right. Well, they wrote the book first, and then they based the movie on the book. Now, they had a lot of problems trying to get the movie made. Nobody in Hollywood would fund the movie.
No.
So they did a self-funding campaign with Indiegogo and raised the money from people who wanted to see the movie made also, just average American public, and maybe some people in Ireland too, I'm not sure. But they raised enough money to have the movie made. It was filmed in Oklahoma.
They apparently did a good job. It looks like a well-done movie. Okay, folks, you can go and see that September 27th, Riverdale 10 VIP Cinema in Little Rock, 7 p.m. Will there be more than one showing, or you don't know at this time?
No, that night will be the only screening in Little Rock. We hope to fill 2 theaters, though, so I really encourage people to buy tickets. We're asking churches to buy blocks of tickets, and so that we can really fill those theaters up.
Yeah, if you have any questions, reservations about what's going on in the abortion industry, or if this type thing is in our culture today, you need to go see that movie. This is the dark side of abortion and what's going on and the people that are involved in it. Okay, last but not least, and this is Arkansas Right to Life sponsored, and I've seen the commercials already on VTN. We've been running them on our community calendar.
Yeah.
Pro-Life Roundup.
Yep.
A roundup spot to show viewers. We have a full-page infographic, and we're going to show that to you right now, so watch this, and we'll be right back.
You're invited to the Proudly Pro-Life Roundup on Saturday, September 29th, beginning at 4 p.m. This family-friendly event features a petting zoo, a quarter horse show with 3-time world champion Vicki Lee Strickland, live bluegrass music by Living Grace, fairy tale characters, a live auction with autographed items from Duck Dynasty, and an elegant dinner limo night out. Plus, food by Bob and Sandy's Beach Club Barbecue. All held at the Strickland Quarter Horse Farm in Jonesboro. Tickets are $50 for adults, $10 for children. The Proudly Pro-Life Roundup, Saturday, September 29th. Sponsored by Arkansas Right to Life.
Hey, everybody in Northeast Arkansas. Get everybody in the pickup truck and the van, the Suburban, and go out to this round. I was so impressed with that spot. I asked Rose, I said, who did that for you? She said, y'all did. We did that. That's great. I'm going to get them to do one for me. I saw the live music.
Yeah.
What's the name of the group? Because I know that
it's
group.
Living Grace.
Living Grace. That's
Yeah.
Senator Jason Rapert.
That's right, bluegrass.
And listen, if you have never heard Senator Rapert sing and play the fiddle, you have missed it, brother. I mean, he is good.
Yeah.
I've seen him at several of these functions in barns and so forth, and his group is good. If you like bluegrass, if you like that kind of music, you need to be there.
Yeah, well, they're going to play for 2 hours, so starting at 4 o'clock, and so we want people to come in to hear them. And this is a great event for families.
Yeah.
We've got this jam-packed with food and fun, a live auction. Kids can see a horse show. They can ride horses. They can have their picture made with fairy tale characters. Have a petting zoo. Food, barbecue. $50 for adults, and only $10 for children 12 and under.
Now, if you think that's a lot for an event like this, it's really not. But look beyond the food, the fun, the fellowship, the live music, etc. And this money is going to help Arkansas Right to Life to continue their work in Arkansas. And folks, I just can't say this enough. You see Rose Mims here several times a year, maybe. You see Jerry Cox with Family Council. Folks, these people are on the front lines in the battle, light against darkness. If you take people like Rose and Arkansas Right to Life and Jerry Cox and Family Council and other organizations just like them, if you take them out of the mix, darkness will come in and overtake. The Bible says that we've been translated out of the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of God's dear Son, the kingdom of light. And we're the salt and the light in the earth. Jesus said that. So we have to keep doing this. And they have to have funding just like anybody else. They don't have a church and a congregation, so to speak, where they can receive tithes and offerings. So they depend on the Christian community right here in Arkansas. That's you. That's me. They depend on us for their funding and for their advertising and word of mouth and to spread the word. And we're glad to do it here at VTN. So I might have y'all, well, we're running out of time. I don't know if you can show that again. But there's pictures for the kids, fairy tale characters, food, $50 for adults, $10 for children 12 and younger. For more information, here it is. Proudly Pro-Life Roundup, Saturday, September 29th, 4 to 8, Strickland Quarter Horse Farm, Jonesboro, Arkansas. And I guess they can go online and find out where that is. We have the address on the flyer. And okay. But I wanted to say, too, that, we're going to have some special guests there. The governor is planning on being there, okay. Congressman Rick Crawford. The lieutenant governor will be there. We're going to have some really fantastic auction items. Great. And so we want people to come. This is 4 to 8 p.m. One ticket price gets you in the door and all those different activities. And we rely on fundraisers like this, like you were saying, and for membership. So we hope all of our friends in Jonesboro and the surrounding area and Paragould and West Memphis, all of those areas, to come and to celebrate life with us. And those of you that are politically or party sensitive, forget about all that. This is not a Republican party. This is Arkansas Right to Life. So bury the hatchet. Come on out and get involved and support Right to Life at $50 an adult, $10 for children. And you could break it down. This money that they collect for this event is going to go to help save children's lives. Pastor, there's another way that they can help if they cannot come to the event, is we're printing a program, and we have ads for sale in the program, and we're going to have a signature ad page where people can pay $25 just to have their name put in the program that they support life. They may not be able to come, but they can support us by having their name printed in the program. We want to encourage you to attend, and you can watch this commercial. It airs over and over on VTN. I hope you'll go. VTN's on Facebook. Find us at VTN, your Arkansas Christian Connection. Follow me on Twitter if you like, Happy_Caldwell. And this episode's available to watch online. Log on to VTNTV.com. Click on Watch on Demand. And VTN's available to watch 24/7 anywhere in the world, anytime. So tell your family, friends, and neighbors, other states, and other nations. Jeannie and I watched VTN in Israel just a couple of months ago when we were over there for the embassy dedication. Every morning I'd get up and I'd turn on VTN on my computer, on my iPad. So this is a miracle of technology, and we appreciate you partners for supporting it. Remember, Jesus is Lord of Arkansas, and where you're watching too.
Send your questions, comments, and testimonies to Happy Caldwell at P.O. Box 26207, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221. Or email happycaldwell@vtntv.com.